do you have for those at the beginning of their career, directors, writers?
My advice for filmmakers when they're first starting out is to remember that's where we all start. I mean, if you have to plan your career in 20-year blocks, you'll go crazy. And for me, you just have to start, especially in this day and age. My advice would be go out, make your movie. Just go out. The technology is there. Find the story you want to tell. Go out and execute it. It's not going to be great. Your first movie is probably not going to be very good, but that's just going to open the door to the next one and the next one and the next one. Most proud of and why? Yeah. I think the thing I'm most proud of in this whole crazy industry and in my career is that I'm still standing and I'm still able to make movies, and people still call me and ask me if they want to go out and tell their stories, and I think that's a big thing. I think when you're young and you're a filmmaker, the thing that you lose sight of is this is not just a job or even a career. It becomes your life, and the friends you make in this industry will become your best friends. Yeah. And these are the people you're going to hang out with, not just for the 2 days you're on set or the 15 days you're making a movie, but these are the people you're going to build your life with. And what I'm most proud of really is the community here. We're in Toronto. I'm at the Toronto Screenwriting Conference, and that's where I'm answering these questions. But for me, Toronto's my home, and it's also a community full of very innovative, curious, and talented people, and thankfully most of them are my friends.
Yeah. Yep, and they are too. If you had writer's block, let's say, what do you do to overcome it?
I think the best thing for me with writer's block are deadlines. And I think that's almost true for every writer out there. Now, I'm in a different situation because I'm mostly a director, and on the few times that I've been very fortunate to be a writer, it's for things that I'm attached to or I'm putting together. But when I'm developing a script or writing a script, the ones that get deadlines are the ones that actually get written, and usually they're very truncated, short deadlines. For example, I did a movie called Five Girls years and years and years ago. It's a horror film, and the original movie we were supposed to do got canceled, and the producers on a Saturday said, we still want to make a movie with you. Can you come up with a new idea? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. He's like, great, pitch it to us on Monday. So, and he said, oh, and by the way, we're shooting in a derelict, we're renting a derelict school in Hamilton, so if you can set anything in a school, then that's a good thing. So that weekend I went home and I thought about a school, Catholic schoolgirls, and that became the movie Five Girls. I pitched to them on Monday. By Tuesday morning, they were like, okay, the other producers like it. We have to get it in for a funding deadline on Friday, so can you get a script to us? So I literally wrote the first draft of Five Girls in 3 days. That's what breaks through writer's block, because you don't have time. You don't have time to stop and go, I don't know what to think. You spew it out.
Okay. What can the film and TV industry do differently in order to change or grow?
Well, that's not a loaded question. I think the thing about the film and TV industry in Canada, and they're two very different things. Television is a different beast than film. And I'll speak to the film industry because that's kind of my wheelhouse right now. Although I love television, I've been very fortunate to work with the Trailer Park Boys and get into a whole bunch of trouble with them. But with the industry now, the biggest block for filmmakers would be the connection to a real audience in English language Canada. And there's all these things that are floated, whether it be quotas, which will never happen in this country. There's discussion about how films are funded. There's discussions about, right now, Nova Scotia is getting hit really hard with their film tax credit. So there's all these challenges intrinsic to being a filmmaker in this country. But the hardest one, honestly, is getting people to know what Canadian films are. And, I'm asked to do these panels, and I'm asked to sometimes teach classes. And the first thing I'll ask a lot of times, especially if it's film students that want to become filmmakers, I'll ask, who's seen a Canadian film in the last 3 months? And you'll get, maybe 5 hands go up, and then it's like, who's seen a Canadian film in the last month? And no one really probably puts up a hand. And then I'm like, name 3 Canadian filmmakers, and they'll say Goyen and Bruce McDonald and Cronenberg or whatever. And I'm like, great, name 15 more, and they're stumped because we don't have a system here to really get our stories and our films out there to a mass audience. And if we can't connect to film students who, let's face it, it's their job to know who we are. Mm-hmm. They should be out there voraciously eating up all the Canadian films and knowing the filmmakers, because that's what they're getting into. If they don't know that, then there's a big problem, bigger than any sort of tax credit, although I really hope Nova Scotia can get their Minister of Finance to rethink that. But the biggest problem is finding a connection with that audience, and it's a struggle. And I don't have a solution right off the top of my head.
That was an amazing answer. That was amazing. My final question for you is: we all have mentors, the people who inspire us. Who are your mentors and why?
You're asking me who my biggest mentors are, and first off, immediately is my group of friends. Mm-hmm. My girlfriend Jen, my best friend Aiden, my best friend Mike, my best friend Gary. These people that have been through the ringer with me, and kind of have seen me at my best and at my worst. They mentor me in that, I can float ideas, I can be frustrated, I can figure out how to tackle things. And it goes back to sort of one of the first rules of being a filmmaker is pick good friends. Pick very talented people that you like. Mm-hmm. Make them your best friends. And surround yourself with the very best people. Get rid of the people that aren't those people. And you'll see systematically your career take off because you're just picking better people to be around. And then outside of that would be, from a very early age, would be my brothers, who are 10 and 11 years older than me. And my parents too, but mostly my brothers, because they were the ones that bought me my first Super 8 camera when I was a kid, and basically said, just go out and do what you got to do. Don't worry about mom and dad being mad that you're not acing math or science, because we'll take care of that. You go out and you cause as much trouble and challenge yourself as much as you can. So those are, it's really friends and family that have really mentored me.
That's awesome. Thank you so very much.
Good, no problem.
Yeah.
All right.